What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. You know, a lot of trade talks are surrounding Anthony Davis right now mainly because of his injury status at all times and because he still has trade value left, and they're wondering how much trade value does he have left because of his injuries and because of his, unreliability of being on the court. Now, there's been some trade talks here lately about Anthony Davis being traded to the Chicago Bulls, and there have been a couple packages that they were talking about that could, serve well for the Lakers, but you have to ask yourself, is it really worth it? Based upon what Anthony Davis can give you if he is healthy. So let's just go ahead and talk about the trade packages that they have in regards to Anthony Davis. Now, the one trade package that they talked about was Vucevic and Lonzo Ball, which he was formerly on the Lakers before, for Anthony Davis in a trade, maybe even a pick thrown in there possibly. Me personally, I wouldn't go through with that at all because, for one thing, you're not getting much back at all out of that. You will get Vucevic. I mean, he is a pretty good player. He's a good, solid player. I think he's made all-star team, once, maybe. But Lonzo Ball, he's another injury-prone player. He's not a player that I feel like the Lakers should really invest in if they're trying to win because, like I said, he's good when he's out there. He's been grown a lot in his game. He's matured a little bit in his game, and he's definitely taken his game a little bit higher than what it was when he first entered the league on the Lakers. But like I said, his injury status is almost the same. This year or this past year for the Bulls, how many games did he play? He was out a while. He didn't really serve them purpose the way he could have, and they definitely could have used him going into the playoffs and the play-in and everything. They definitely could have used him in the postseason, but, he wasn't available. And like I said, that's the thing, it's hit or miss with him too. It's not really like you have somebody who stays healthy and, who is available and who can give you a chance to win. Because I think Lonzo Ball can really help a team win. I like his intangibles. I've always liked his IQ for the game. Unlike his brother LaMelo, I feel like his IQ is higher. I feel like LaMelo could be more of a superstar in the league, because just his pizzazz and his, the way he plays, irky jerky like, and he kind of has that superstar way about his game. But Lonzo can be the star player in the league that could win more championships between the two brothers of what I see. And, I definitely like Lonzo, but I don't think him and Vucevic is really valuable for Anthony Davis. Even though Anthony Davis' stock has went down, I still wouldn't let that trade go there because I just don't feel like that would be, an ideal situation. You're getting one player in Vucevic that would be, a very good pickup and a very good, solid big man. But then the other one is, injury prone, just like the player you gave away to the Bulls. You see what I'm saying? So that's really not getting nothing in return that would help you or better your chances of winning a championship, which that's ultimately what the Lakers are looking for. So to me, that trade package really isn't the best. So I wouldn't really go with that one. Now, the other trade would be very, very good if they're able to do it, but I don't know if it would be able to go through because I think it would be a long shot. So the other trade proposed would be Anthony Davis swapped out, traded to the Bulls for Zach LaVine. Now, that would be a very good trade. Now, I know Zach LaVine has a little bit of injury history himself. I know he does. But, hey, you got to kind of give and take sometime in situations. And I'll say this much. Zach LaVine is a superstar caliber type player. He can really turn into a superstar. And I feel like, with him, I feel like he doesn't want to be a second fiddle to anybody. I feel like Zach LaVine kind of wants his own team and wants to be able to dictate things and be the best player on the team. It's like the more and more he plays, the more and more you see that. You see him wanting to be, that guy because he can definitely do that. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people around him telling him, hey, you can be that guy. You don't have to necessarily be a second to some DeMar DeRozan, who is a good player, don't get me wrong, but never been a top player in the league up until, I didn't even say this year he was a top player in the league. He was in the MVP conversation, but he's never been a top player in the league. He's always been maybe top 10, top 15 player in the league, something like that. But he's never been like a top 5 is what I'm saying. He's never been that type player. So, I mean, they're not going to go but so far in the playoffs, with him, to me, unless, Lonzo Ball's healthy and all 3 of them are healthy, and maybe they can make a run. But it's not going to go but so far anyway, because when you look at teams in the East, they don't really match up well against anybody, with DeMar DeRozan being your number 1 guy. So trading options or trading, it might be the best for the Bulls, maybe if they can pull this off. And besides, Anthony Davis definitely probably wouldn't mind going back home and playing in Chicago, where he's from and everything. But I definitely think this trade wouldn't be awfully bad because, like I said, Zach LaVine, I mean, his upside is very, very high. And he is he's only like 2 years younger than Anthony Davis. I think he's 27. Anthony Davis is 29. But Anthony Davis seems like he's 39, the way he gets hurt from just day to day. And it doesn't seem like he's getting any younger. It doesn't even look like he's getting any more like stronger, or it doesn't look like Anthony Davis really has what the Lakers need, that go-getter mentality sometime. And I feel like Zach LaVine has that, he has that go-getter mentality more than Anthony Davis does, even though Anthony Davis is a better player than Zach LaVine. But at the same time, you need somebody with more of the dog in them, go-get-it mentality every single night. And some nights I look at Anthony Davis, I just don't see it. I don't see that, go after it. I'm the best player on the team, caliber type mentality. It just looks like he's a guy sometimes. Some nights he doesn't dominate games the way he should. And that's the problem with the Lakers. Or I should say that's one of their problems. If they don't have him go out there and have that mindset of dominating every single night, it makes them very, very vulnerable to a lot of teams. And that's the reason why I say, Anthony Davis, that's the reason why I say that they definitely are looking into, a possible trade for Anthony Davis on the Lakers. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to actually trade Anthony Davis or anything like that, but I mean, it's very, very possible because they're looking at his injury history, and they're also looking at like how his value is going down because of his injuries. And on top of that, they're looking at him like, you're supposed to be the number 1 player on this team by now. LeBron James should not be averaging 30 points a game, being the best player on the Lakers still. LeBron James should be the number 2 player on the Lakers by now. And LeBron would be fine with that. He would be fine with Anthony Davis dominating and taking over games. But that's the problem. He can't rely on that because Anthony Davis is not reliable, because when he's on the court at times, sometimes he just doesn't play up to his potential. I mean, I can remember one game specifically this past year where they played the Timberwolves, and Anthony Davis got dominated by Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns really embarrassed Anthony Davis. And then on top of that, I can remember in the game, Karl Anthony Towns, made the gesture, made the sign saying Anthony Davis is too small for me. And he dominated the whole game. You can't go out there and get dominated by somebody like that when you're supposed to be a top 5 caliber player, as a lot of those NBA analysts say. And this is what I'm saying. Anthony Davis, he has his moments where he really shines, but then he also has these moments where he just doesn't have that dog in him the way the Lakers need him to. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did, trade Anthony Davis. I really wouldn't, because they're trying to see if they can get some value for him before all his value goes away with all these injuries that he has. And like I said, you get somebody like Zach LaVine, you could tell, I mean, he really wants to be a number 1 guy on the team. He wants to, be that type guy. And like I said, he has the type of skills to do it. And like I said, if he teamed up with a LeBron James, hell, Zach LaVine he might be the face of the league if he could stay healthy, which I believe he could, ultimately I believe he can, and he's got a long time to go, in the league, and he's still young. And like I said, learning from somebody like LeBron put him in another stratosphere. I mean, because Zach LaVine's game is already dope. I mean, it's already dope. I mean, people love watching him play. He plays with so much ease. It looks like the game comes easy to him because he can jump so high. That step back 3-pointer of his is deadly. I mean, it's really underrated. And like I said, he can move with the ball deceptively on the court, get to the rim whenever he wants to. And like I said, a lot of people don't even get in his way because he'll dunk you in the rim. It's not even an issue. So, and like I said, he's a good free throw shooter. He needs to touch up on his defense more, things like that. Understand the game a little bit better on that side. But this is what I'm saying. Having somebody like him come to the team, I mean, hey, the Lakers really would be Showtime again, with somebody like that, So it would be, like like I said, I think it would be an interesting, take for in regards to something that the Lakers definitely need to look into a little bit further. Because like I said, if Anthony Davis is not going to be available, Shaq says it all the time. Your best ability is availability. And if Anthony Davis is just a top 5 caliber player that's never on the court, then why do you need him? You know what I'm saying? You might as well trade him away. There's no need to keep somebody who's not going to be available. That's just a waste of your time. And I definitely think if they're going to trade him, get somebody like a Zach LaVine. Don't go after like a Nikola, Vucevic and, Lonzo Ball. Those pieces don't even really match up to what Anthony Davis still is. Anthony Davis is still a top, I'd say, 15 player in the league at the least. You see what I'm saying? When he's healthy, you know what I'm saying? So, or maybe top 15, top 20, but I don't think neither one of those players are top 15, top 20. They may be in the top 30, something like that. But this is my point. Like, you've got to be able to, have somebody there who can really fill a role. And Anthony Davis was supposed to be the number 1 guy on the Lakers. He hasn't lived up to that yet because of his health. But if you're going to get somebody else, then get somebody else who can potentially be a number 1 player on the Lakers so you can take a lot of pressure off LeBron. And that's why I said, to me, if they're going to trade him to the Bulls, and these talks are getting pretty heavy as far as I'm seeing on these sites and everything. So if there is a possibility that they might trade him to the Bulls, then, like I said, you go after Zach LaVine. You don't go after anybody else. If you can get Zach LaVine in a number 1 pick or something like that, then, or a 2nd round pick, whatever they want to give you on top of that to put the icing on the cake, you take that. You don't go for anybody else on the Bulls because it really would be not valuable. I would just go for one of their best players. And to me, of course, one of their best players is Zach LaVine. Now, they had a chance to get DeMar DeRozan, I think, last year, but they didn't. So I don't know if that would be something they would look into as well. But Zach LaVine is definitely, his name is definitely being out there in regards to being shopped around. And also, I've been hearing reports that the Dallas Mavericks too, have interest in Zach LaVine. So, I mean, hey, if you're Lakers, don't let one of your rivals in the West get a player like him, because now Luka having somebody like Zach LaVine, if that was a possibility, well, I mean, damn, I don't know if anybody would beat Dallas then, because it's hard to stop Luka on his own. And now he has somebody like Zach LaVine who can go in there and just, freestyle basically on the court, because Luka is so deadly. Now you can add somebody like Zach LaVine to that mix with Jason Kidd, the way he coaches. Wow. I mean, you really got a tough matchup then. So like I said, sometimes it's good not to give your enemies, firepower like that, because sometimes it comes back and backfires on you. So, I mean, if the Lakers got a chance to get Zach LaVine, and if they feel like, Anthony Davis is, that his value is going down, which it is, and, the injuries or whatever, I mean, if they don't feel like they can trust his injury history, then you pull the trigger on that. Because like I said, I mean, you have somebody younger, you have somebody who has more of a mentality of going to get it, dog mentality to me, and you have somebody that's willing to go out there and really, be the face of the Lakers. And, hey, honestly, Zach LaVine would fit with the Lakers. He's from the West Coast anyway. He's from Washington. He's from the West. You know what I'm saying? He probably prefers to be on the West anyway. And I think he would flourish in a Lakers jersey, more than what people think. But hey, that's my take on everything. You leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos as always. And hey, Khaliis out.